Total War Warhammer. So, we are going to start a new game. We are going to be playing as the Dwarfs. I've only really done one campaign of this before, which was as the Empire. No, that's not true. I did do a co-op game with Dwarfs, but unfortunately that game crashed and the save got corrupted, so we kind of gave it up. But that was a co-op game. So we're going to be doing much the same as we were there. So we're going to go Old World campaign. I've got all of the DLCs and stuff installed now. That's part of the reason I wanted to do this, now that I have everything. I have a great taste in faction, says Dwarf. I quite agree, Dwarf. Thank you very much. And I have to say, the poll which I did about which faction to play as got a lot more attention than I had actually expected. 128 votes, which is crazy. 33 of which were for the Dwarves. 22 for the Wood Elves. Chaos got 20, and that was kind of surprising. I was actually expecting Chaos to overtake the Dwarves at one point. They were within 1 or 2 votes of each other, but then the Dwarves just surged and completely ran ahead. The Vampire Count got 18, Bretonnia got 17, Greenskins and Beastmen both got 9. And the Empire wasn't on that list because I intend to do a grand campaign of the Empire once Total War 2 is out. Because basically what you can do in that is stitch both worlds together and play a really, really, really big game. So that's my intention there, because the Empire is who I actually collected when I used to play Warhammer Fantasy. So there we go. Thank you, Cry for Sucker. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be playing Hearts of Iron 4 after this, probably kicking off, well, certainly kicking off at 8 o'clock PM this evening, British time, so at the moment it's 3 PM, so in 5 hours I'll be doing Hearts of Iron 4, and that will be as Austria. Alright, so we're going to hit up the Dwarves. We do have an option between the Dwarfs and Clan Angrud. Dwarfs' chief purpose is to take back the rightful possessions and right the wrongs recorded in the Great Book of Grudges. Skarsnik, a Night Goblin warlord, all but dominates the last fortress of Carrack 8 Peaks. Belagar Ironhammer has taken the grudge very personally indeed and intends to set the record straight. A tall order? Not really. Nothing's really tall for the dwarves. So this allows us to summon powerful ancestor heroes. Everything else I think is just the same as the regular dwarves. Or we can play as one of the regular dwarves as the king, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, which means that we get cheaper construction and cheaper upkeep for longbeards and hammerers, which I think sounds fantastic. I do like the dwarven heavy infantry. They are very, very strong, and anything which makes construction cheaper is okay in my book.
I must fulfill my Slayer oath.
Then we got Ungrim Iron Fist, who is the Slayer King, so you get cheaper Slayers and also radically reduced upkeep for the Slayers.
I am the White Dwarf.
And then Grumbindal, the White Dwarf, after whom the White Dwarf series of magazines was named. And that was like the official Warhammer magazine thing. So this is like the iconic figure from that. Powerful battlefield ability. Grumbindal has no fear. Evasion chance when using the underway, so you can get around more easily, you can reinforce faster, and you can call upon the power of the ancestor gods. So, for those of you watching, who should we play as? Thorgrim Grudgebearer.
I am the Slayer King.
Ungrim Iron Fist.
Fearless and unbreakable.
Grumbindal the White Dwarf. Or Clan Angrud
Ironhammer.
with Belagar Ironhammer. Ooh. Lots of upkeep until we take back the Carrack 8 Peaks. White Dwarf for the win. Basically everyone is saying the White Dwarf. Okay. Which one was Grudgebearer? King. Yeah, I do like the King. I must admit, I do like the King. Just because he makes building stuff cheaper. And you know, I'm all about the economic game in this type of thing. Well, in any strategy, really. But first, a dwarf must have his tea, correct? I mean, obviously I'll be drinking ale. So, we'll just say that this is tea-flavoured ale. How's that? I think we're going to go with the White Dwarf. I've played as Grudgebearer before. So it's going to be interesting because the evasion chance increase. Meaning that I can move around a lot more easily. Do we all start in the same place?
The Slayer in me seeks death. To war!
Because eventually we can get Grumbundle. I think just through the technologies you can over time unlock the other legendary heroes.
Send me to vengeance.
I'm going to play as Grudgebearer and then I'll get the White Dwarf as soon as I can. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just because this is just so strong for me. What tea do I drink? This is Earl Grey. It's more of an Empire import. But I've developed a bit of a taste for it. Yeah, we're going to play as Thorgrim. And we'll do the introduction. We'll do the introduction. Yeah, why not? And then I'll shut up while that plays. Because I kind of want to know what it is too. Sit on the throne while attacking the Greenskins. That is the way to fight in style, to be fair.
The old world is a crucible of relentless war. It has ever been so. An era as long as the mountains are unyielding. As the storms gather again, it presents a chance for the brave to bring about an age of reckoning. I come to the Dwarf High King as a herald of such times, and so I find myself at the King's right hand. My presence is timely, for dire news comes from the south. Greenskins flock to the banner of a cruel war boss. Now, my liege, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, leads a mighty throng from Karazakarak, smashing aside any foes that block our path. If Grudgebearer desires to return the Karaz Angkor to its former glory, then he must rid his lands of vile Greenskins. Those gathering within the shadows of Everpeak are a good start.
Fellow Dowie, I see orcs scum. They foul our mountains with their vile taint. The Damaskron, our great book of grudges, is filled with such greenskin atrocities. Bring hammer and axe. Show these irks and Groby no mercy.
Your forces begin their attack, my lord. See for yourself.
Alright, let's just pause that for a second. So, hello to everyone there. Wargiven, Bussy, Cry for Soccer, Dwarf, Fenris, Lord Silverrose, Nikos Gamer. Thank you all for joining me and everyone else there in chat, being a little more quiet. So, Cry for Soccer is saying, you don't know anything about Warhammer, can I give a quick explainer? War never changes. Basically, it is a fantasy realm much like Lord of the Rings. You have elves, dwarves, humans, orcs, goblins, lizardmen, chaos, loads of different races, and they're all fighting over the old world. Warhammer 2 will be about the new world, which is where you find the lizardmen and the high elves and those guys, but this is the old world. Basically, the dwarves are considered to be something of a dying race. They are easily the most technologically advanced, as you saw there with the helicopters and the cannons and all of that stuff. The only rival that they really have for technology, it would probably be the Empire, who have got steam-driven tanks, which the dwarves do not. Actually, I wonder if that was made by the dwarves and then sold to the Empire or something. I don't know. I didn't used to know like all of the lore for this, but I'll be honest, it's been a while. So the dwarves are an underground race. Part of the special thing about Total War Warhammer is you can actually go underground. There are only two races that can do that, the orcs and the dwarves. So you basically have a special way of moving around the map, which is undetectable, and I think you can move further when you're doing that as the dwarf. So you're really good at the underground stuff, not quite so good on the overground. Warhammer, this version of Warhammer, like Total War, you are fighting over cities, resources, trying to make money, building up stuff. Nobody wins at war unless you're Germany, or the dwarves. So yeah, Warhammer is just this amalgamation. It's kind of a late medieval era fantasy thing. So you've got early gunpowder, early steam technology, not like steam-driven factories or anything like that, but rather steam-driven war machines, because everyone's at war all the time. I think that's pretty much as good a background as I can give. I mean, I'll talk more about the lore as it emerges and as I remember. For the dwarves, it's going to be less so. If we were talking about the Empire, I could tell you a lot about them because I used to read their army books quite religiously. I've never actually played as the dwarves on tabletop version, although I have played against the dwarves. One of my best friends was a dwarf collector, and he absolutely annihilated me every single time just because of one sodding unit called miners. Basically what he would do is mine under the map and then pop up right underneath my siege engines and my handgunners, which are like your main shooting bang bangs, and I tended to rely really quite heavily on those, so yeah, not good. And do the dwarves equal Germany? No, the Empire would equal Germany. The Empire basically is Holy Roman Empire. And in fact, if you've seen the Mettenheim armies in Prophecy of Pendor, the great swords especially are based on the great swords from Warhammer. I really wanted them to have the floppy hats, but instead they got the sallet, which I think still works. Okay, so you'll have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. I spent about 30 hours in air conditioning, basically on my way home. Took a Greyhound from Michigan to New York just because it was about £200 cheaper, and then flew from New York back home to London. So if I'm coughing and spluttering, it's because air conditioning does not sit well with us. We haven't really discovered it here in England, so when we go to the US, it kind of screws with us. Alright, so we are doing the camera stuff, holding down shift to go faster. This is kind of a tutorial-y thing. Yeah, we got this. Can I select anyone? No. Yeah, I've moved that. Oh, you want me to do this? And then scroll. There we go. I've done it. Thank you.
Be sure to join the fight yourself. The warriors will be greatly inspired by your presence.
There is no greater ability.
Alright, so we don't actually have control of these guys just yet, but we do have the king. Select a single unit by left clicking, select multiple by box clicking, issue a move order by right clicking on terrain, double right click to run. Alright, next step, come on. So what's the king good at? I want this to go away. I don't really need the tutorial. There we go. Armoured melee expert, armoured and shielded, charge defence against large foes, old grumblers. What the hell does that mean? Respected for their great age, superior courage and the length of their facial hair. Longbeards have an encouraging effect on their allies. Oh, I see. They inspire the units around them with their own morale if your king's not there. So you'll see that there's kind of a faint outline around these units. Do you have one? Yeah, you do there. Oh, who was that? Copperbottom and Aaron Frederick. Thank you very much for the follows. Appreciate that. Alright, let's go and do some charges. So once the the dwarves get stuck in, they tend to be rather difficult to root out again. Let's go and hit these guys on the side. In fact, let's do a proper flank charge. We'll run up here and then hit them from the side. No. He's being shot at by archers. But the general, he's a legendary lord, so he's pretty tough. He's just going to wander into the middle of that fight. Excellent. We have some archers back here doing their thing. Soldiers fight best against enemies that are in front of them. Units will suffer increased casualties when attacked from the sides or rear, as we just did with the orcs here from the side. Dwarves are doing quite a lot of damage to them, that is good. Who's this joker? It's just a lord. So this just being the tutorial, there's not exactly a lot of stuff that we can do. We've got some siege engines back there. Do I control any of them? No. What are you? Grudge thrower. Cannon. Another cannon. And Manslender. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. So things will get a lot more tactical when you have more than just 2 units at your control. Obviously. Okay, so I think some of the orcs just broke. There's a group of trolls. You guys are good against trolls, aren't you? Leadership and routing. A unit will flee the battlefield when its leadership level drops too low and no longer respond to your orders, and that's what the the white thing there is. Be sure to take control of the forces you control. Effective command to your army is a skill worth mastering. Okay.
Effective command of your army is a skill worth mastering.
Alright, now we have the quarrelers. So we have got some archer units, and I kind of like to use you guys as a counter archer unit against them. So let's shift you over here, ranks of 3. You can attack. You can attack. Let's go and attack into the trolls. Actually, do I still have the hammerers? Are these all longbeards? Oh, blimey. Okay, no wonder we're kicking their asses. Longbeards are like one of the really high level top tier guys.
Keep your missile units back from the enemy, my lord. They will be most effective if allowed to shoot from a distance.
Yeah, thank you, genius. Alright, longbeards are doing just fine. You guys are chasing those guys down. Let's have you go and attack the Doom Diver. Hilarious unit, by the way. Basically catapults goblins to attack the enemy. Alright, these guys are all running. Let's just keep charging. The trolls have fled. Can we use the crossbows against the troll? I think that would be a good choice. Oh, King's kind of caught out on his own. That's fine, he's a boss, and he regenerates health over time as well. So he'll be fine. Does he regenerate? I feel like he regenerates.
Your presence
Yes.
can sway the battle, sire. Your words and actions can inspire the troops before you. Use your influence and abilities.
Ah, yes, I'd forgotten about these. Deadly Onslaught means charge bonus, armor piercing damage, more speed and more vigor, or leadership and melee defense. Well, considering you're kind of on your own right now, let's do that. And then let's also do Deadly Onslaught, so you get a bit of a damage buff. You guys are getting kind of caught out, but that's fine.
The enemy general joins the battle at last. Nashrak fights amidst his mounted warriors. Cut him down.
Oh, those are mine. Ha! No wonder you're not going to attack them. Alright, you longbeards are getting kind of trashed, so I might pull you back a bit. Crossbows, let's bring you forwards. In fact, let's just have a Legendary Lord versus Legendary Lord general fight. Go and attack Rashnak. Oh, he's already about to break. He's running.
Skins thrust their master, my king Grudgebearer. The battlefield is secure.
Can't wait until you get Iron Drakes. Yeah, Iron Drakes are pretty good. You have won the battle, but do not celebrate too much, for the gods will look ill upon he who came so near to defeat. That was not near to defeat. That was me not having control of the full army. Hey, well done, Owens. Good to see you. And lots of Twitch people coming in. Wakara, thank you very much for the follow. Anto, thank you very much for the follow. Oh, I'm not playing as the orc, so I can't do my crazy orc voices. That's disappointing. Isn't the squad size a bit small? Yes, I was going to double check that setting. Because I let NVIDIA do its optimization thing, and I think that reduced the unit size. And if that's the case, I'll restart the campaign. I mean, I'll just skip the tutorial next time. Come on. I should probably close my browsers and stuff, because I still have, like usual, a billion different windows open. Salter, thank you very much for the follow. Mustafir, thank you very much for the follow. Wow, there's a lot of you coming in right now. That's awesome.
Your sacred peak is secure, King Grudgebearer. The mountains rumble to the sound of your armies marching.
Okay.
The High King acts.
Let's close you. Let's go and check the options real quick. Graphics. Here we go. Unit detail. Unit size, medium. Let's make that large. Until the next time a campaign or battle is launched. Yeah, I think I need to restart the campaign for that. I'm not going to do Ultra, I don't think my computer could handle it. And I'll reduce some of the settings if we're in a really, really big battle and things get a bit laggy. Plus I can close things down in the background. Okay, hang on. Let's go main menu. Sorry about this. I'm going to skip the tutorial next time. I've done that before. The only thing I might forget is how to do the underground stuff. And let's also go and close my main browser with 20 different tabs open. That should save up a bit of memory and make things run a little bit more smoothly. Right, campaign. New campaign. Old world. Continue. Dwarfs. Continue. Dorgrim. Don't do the introduction. Oh, don't tell me I'm going to have to fight that battle again. I have an annoying feeling I'm going to have to. Oh well. Right, we've done that before. It is a dark time in Thorgrim Grudbearer's reign. Despite convincing his kin not to seal their holds and diminish, their enemies have emboldened. Greenskins gathered in the shade of Everpeak. Thorgrim could not let that stand, and so marched forth and slew them. But the remnants fled and now skulk in the sacred site of Gungni's pillars. Another grudge recorded. Another that needs to be settled in the Age of Reckoning is to continue.
Karaza Karak is secure, my lord High King.
Alright, so we're exactly where we just were.
Terrible wrath the Greenskins rout, as is typical of their craven nature.
Okie dokie.
The bloody spears still infest the mountains to the east, setting up their hovels amidst your sacred pillars. Another grudge that must be put right, and soon, for the lords of the other Dwarfs will not tolerate a High King that cannot secure his own realms. To the south, yet more vicious Urki and Groby lay ready to strike at your kin. Seek allies amongst your own folk, for there are many grudges to settle here.
Greenskins are the bad guys, I reckon. I'd agree with that. In fact, I should really be doing the Scottish voice.
Enthralled to the Kara's anchor once more, and no creature, greenskin or otherwise, shall stand in your way.
This is absolutely a game you should play. I would have played way more of Total War Warhammer, but it didn't do particularly well on the channel before. So I am rather hoping it does a bit better. Like, the channel has matured. It's definitely establishing itself as a strategy game themed one. The last time I did this was more during the Mount and Blade era, which is just a different type of game entirely. So I'm kind of hoping it does a bit better, and then I can continue playing it. Unfortunately, I am beholden to the whims of the views. Beheld by the enraged gaze of Grimnir, the bloody spears have trespassed with impunity all over the sacred mountains. Their forces gather to the east and must be defeated in battle before their strength is regained. Defeat an army belonging to the following faction in battle, the Bloody Spears. Okay, so this is a grudge. The dwarves are all about the grudges. The king keeps his massive book open in front of him, and when I'm in a battle I'll zoom in so you can see that. And it records everything that has been done against the dwarves. And the entire gameplay about the dwarves is dealing with these grudges. So if you lose a battle, for example, then a grudge will be issued, which means you then have to go and beat that army in a battle. So you're very often trying to make up for your mistakes in the past. Yeah, I'm running behind on the new followers. What did we get to? We did that. We did that. Ruffy Durs, Kurtz, Chuck Nades, Dino, Lucas, Silva Delema, Captain Obvious. Thank you very much all to you for the follows. And I've just screwed up my... There we go.